Alright, so we're in the shop. Not doing anything. I'm just wanting to give y'all one of my famous updates after disappearing for well over a month. It's been 40 something days since the last time I posted a video, and I promise you, like I always tell you when this happens in the past, it's not intentional. Alright, I started a new job in January, kind of middle January. That's been obviously taking up most of my time doing that, and then the rest of my time been working on other stuff and traveling a little bit with my girlfriend Brittany, and my brother's been working on his trucks and stuff, and I need his help to do this one, so he's working on these, and so kind of let him work on his stuff without bothering him about this one. I mean, I know I've told you all this, but we're very close. We just need to weld the damn motor mounts in and figure out the linkage for the clutch and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll have it done. All right, as far as the engine install, then we're going to run the exhaust and all that other stuff. But now that I have a job that actually pays more than $1 an hour, all that should be a lot more feasible in the future. I'm trying to get other stuff kind of straightened away. Other bills and stuff that I got going on, and trying to save some money occasionally if I can, and be able to do this. So it's a lot going on. I know y'all all know that. I know everybody in the country, with the exception of a rather small percentage, is doesn't have just unlimited money. So yeah, this job is really good. I really like it. Really don't have any complaints about it at all. It's extremely close by, so I'm not eating up a lot of gas money on it. It's I enjoy it a lot, actually. It has its moments like any job would, but overall, this is the best job I've ever had by a significant margin. Okay, I'm talking like the next closest job from this that I liked the most was like 5 years ago. Didn't pay nowhere near as much and wasn't near as pleasant. Also didn't have any of the benefits at all or anything like that. This job has all of it. Benefits, insurance that kicks in day one, all this kind of stuff, all the stuff that I've ever wanted out of a job, this one actually has. It took me years to get this job. It took me over almost 4 years of applying to the same company to get it. So I appreciate the fact they're not choosy. I mean, they're not, they're a little choosy on who they hire. They don't just hire any ass clown off the street. So I do like it. So this will be the happiest I've ever been as an adult, I think, as far as my employment's concerned. I have Brittany. Everything's going well with her. That's going good. There's plenty of other problems going on in my personal life, but those aren't really that interesting, and I hear about them all the time. So we're not going to go over them here. But what I will tell you also, tangent video if you haven't noticed, is I do have a video that I filmed about a month ago down in St. Simons, Georgia. Me and Brittany really enjoy going down to Jekyll and St. Simons. It's close enough to be able to go for like a couple-day trip. It's beautiful down there. It's nowhere near as crowded as Florida or whatever. The only beach that I actually like in Florida is St. Augustine. I love St. Augustine, not only because of its history. I like the vibes, as the kids say there. The whole atmosphere of St. Augustine is phenomenal. The lighthouse is the best one that I've ever seen. I just like it a lot. Anyway, we were down on St. Simons, and I did film a video at Fort Frederica, which is a pretty banging fort, all right? Dates back to colonial Georgia, 1730s. James Oglethorpe, the founder of the colony of Georgia, was in command there. He was launching raids against the Spaniards at St. Augustine from St. Simons. There's some pretty pivotal things that occur there. There's arguments that the battle that occurred there between the English and the Spaniards is arguably one of the most pivotal battles in North American history, that put the North American continent on the pathway to be what it would be later, which is predominantly British controlled. Without this, you could have seen a world where North America was predominantly Spaniard controlled, which I'm not entirely sure would have been the worst thing that ever happened. The Spaniards had some cool stuff going on. They're also brutes and savages at different times, but guess what? So is everybody in history. Everybody, literally everyone. Everybody is victimizing somebody at some point or being the victim at another point. It's called history. It's how it works. Okay? It's kind of like my favorite quote from the movie Fury. It's when Brad Pitt's character tells the younger kid, ideals are peaceful, history is violent. That is true. History is violent. If you don't like violence, history is probably not your thing. If you can't stomach reality and the way people behave, a lot of these things that were done in antiquity or, even recent history, people were aware at the time that it wasn't the best thing to be doing. Other people had been propagandized to the point that they thought this was the only thing they could do. That's not an excuse for evil behavior. I'm just telling you, think about our world right now and the horrible atrocities that occur every second of every day, and how none of us are doing anything about it. And nobody's going to do anything about it. And then think, but I would have been a champion of freedom and rights and caring about everybody in 1651. Bullshit. No, you wouldn't have. Nobody did. Nobody does it now. Why would they do it then? Very, very few people in history go out of their way to actually carry out an ideal, even if, a lot of people even believe these ideals, but when it comes push comes shove, they don't do it. It's not a critique against anybody in particular. I'm just saying that people suck, and they always have. Some eras, they suck worse than others. But regardless, we all suck. We're all pretty terrible. The Bible talks about this a lot. A lot of cultures talk about this a lot. Horrible, desperately wicked, deceitful among all things. Who can know it? All right? So, I'm just saying, at this fort, it's a whole different era of history than what I typically talk about. A lot of people get real touchy about colonialism and all that kind of stuff. And the thing to remember is that people react to colonialism for justifiable reasons, calling it evil, for very justifiable reasons. They also gloss over all the vast things that created the world that we live in now, the good parts of the world that we live in now, all came out of a lot of those evil things. On all sides. Not just for the descendants of British colonists, but across the board. Not everything has to be just, you got to remember this era of colonialism, they only called it colonialism in that era, all right? When Alexander the Great conquered the whole damn world, nobody said that Alexander the Great was a colonizer, okay? But that's what he was doing. He was spreading Greek ideology across the world, and eventually you end up with Rome adopting 3/4 of the Greek ideology and their paintings and gods and pantheon of gods and all that. Nobody in Rome was pissed off that they're ripping off the Greeks. I mean, that's colonialism. You could call it colonialism. It meets the criteria. They're going conquering lands, oftentimes forcing the public in that area to go to their will or to pay tribute to them. It's colonialism. But everybody in our world only talks about colonialism as far as Europeans are concerned, and only here. I'm saying the idea of colonialism, the point of this ramble is the idea of colonialism is not unique to, 1600 to 1950 European. It predates that. I mean, good God, what do you think all these people were doing all over the world? What do you think they were doing? What do you think the Chinese were doing when they come into a region and destroy the whole region and seize control of it and then force them into their group? What do you think the Indians were doing when they did the same thing? What do you think they were doing in the Middle East when they were doing it? What do you think they were doing in Africa? If there was people on Antarctica, they would be killing each other because that's what people do. They suck. That's what I'm getting at. Anyway, I'm just saying all this because I can just hear somebody saying, That fort's evil because it's from the colonial period of America, and therefore it's bad. Without them being able to spell colonial, regardless of that, they're going to react to it. Probably none of y'all that normally watch my channel, but I can just hear it. And I feel kind of in a ranty mood. Yeah, so that video I'm actually going to post on my other channel. I'm not going to post that on this channel. I'm going to post it on, what did I call that other channel? The Red Bearded History, I think is what I call it. So I will post it on there. So it'll be the first upload to it. I think it's an interesting video. You may not like it. I kind of did it a different way. I show the fort, talk about it a little bit. And then there's just hundreds of these placards that tell you all this stuff because they have the maps on how it was laid out. So I walk up and I might read the first couple lines and then I just hold it on there for a second. And I did that so that y'all can pause the screen and read it yourself if you would like to read it. I didn't feel like reading 7 million words about Johnny Mac Smith, who owned a bread factory at Fort Frederica in 1739. You know, I just didn't feel like reading it. I didn't figure y'all want to hear me say that. So, that video will be posted after this video is posted. Other news that should make things a little bit easier as far as posting shorter videos or reels are concerned. I got a new phone that's from this decade. This is the top of the line iPhone that they make. I ended up with it because I traded a phone that was like, I don't know, 8 years old that wouldn't hold a battery charge for nothing. Horrible service on it. Traded it, got a new phone. And the one that I actually wanted, they didn't have, but they had the top Mac Daddy one. So I'm like, you know what? It's like $10 difference in the deal that I'm getting. I'll just buy it. I'm glad I did because it takes phenomenal pictures. It's got a way bigger storage capacity so I can film videos on it. If I don't have the GoPro, I don't have the excuse of I don't have anything to film with, so I can film it on this phone. But the main thing is it'll be so much easier to film short content and post them on the channel. So you may not get as many of the longer format videos that you're used to. Some of y'all like them, some of you don't. But I would like to, if I can get in the habit of it, is doing more reels. Or whatever, YouTube shorts, whatever the hell they're called on YouTube, doing those. And that's just like, you know, if I'm cranking a Jeep or if I'm going to do something or I'm doing something quick, I can film that. It should make things a lot easier because it basically gives me a whole nother camera to work with. And the film quality of it is just as good as this camera, maybe better. And then the audio, I don't know about, but there's ways to get around that. I can use external microphones for it if I want to. Or, you know, maybe the audio is just not quite as crisp as it is here. But regardless, there's that. So that's good news. Finally got a new phone that I can actually, like, do things with. So, yeah. There's quite a lot of Willies on there for sale right now. Some of them are quite reasonable. Some of them are extremely overpriced. The Willies that I've been trying to sell is still available. I did have a gentleman writing me yesterday saying he wanted to come look at it this weekend. He lives pretty close by. I have not heard from him again. I don't know if he's coming or not. But it's still available for anybody that's interested in that Willys. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you just go back a couple videos and you'll see it. For anybody that's wrote me comments that I haven't responded to, I try to respond to them quickly. I check it as often as I can think of. Sometimes YouTube hides them from me, so if I don't respond to you, I swear I'm not ignoring you. That also goes for anybody that sends me emails or anybody that writes me on my Facebook page or Instagram. I'm trying to remember to check all this crap periodically, but every now and then I'll get on there and I'll see somebody wrote me a message like 4 months ago about something, and it always I feel like a dog that I didn't respond to it. I just want y'all to know it's not intentional, okay? It's not because I don't love you. I love you deeply, all right? It just means I'm stupid sometimes and I forget to check stuff. There's Jubal. He's right there in all his glory. We need to get back on him. He's got a nice layer of dust forming on him. And I think we'll probably in the next month or so we'll get back to swinging on him. I don't actually need to buy anything else for him right this second. We need to go ahead and get the engine mounted up and get the rear cross member or center cross member situated. Reroute the brake lines and do all that kind of stuff before we actually need to worry about working with the exhaust, putting the radiator in, all that kind of stuff. But there is plenty more money to be spent here, but it's feasible. It's feasible. So this is about it. Just want to do a little touch base with you. Ramble about Fort Frederica, colonialism, which was horrible, but also good for the world in different ways. Depends on your perspective. It really does. Not everything in history has to be purely evil or purely good. Most things are a mixture. Most things are a mixture. Like the Willies, for example. I love Willies. I love them more than most things in existence in the world. But I can't tell you that there's not horrible things about this vehicle right here. Design flaws with it that were outdated and stupid in 1949 when it came out. Okay? There is. It's not purely 100% just perfection. It's pretty damn close, but it's not 100%. All right? That can be said for most things in history. Most things in history. There is plenty of shit that's 100%. There is no gray area. It is evil. Plenty of stuff. Plenty of stuff. But there's also these other nuanced things that are kind of mixed together. This is not meant to be like a full-scale ramble about nuances of history. But I figured maybe I'll enjoy. You ain't heard from me. Well, if you don't like it, tell me to go pound sand. Some of y'all have done that before, so, just do that. I love you all. Be on the lookout for my video on my new channel. When I do post it, I will try to remember to put it in the community tab that I've posted it, and I'll try to do a little reel or a short with my phone saying that I've posted on the other channel. If y'all like it, feel free to go over there and subscribe. You're not obligated. Me and Brittany are planning on doing a lot more traveling to we really enjoy going to state parks and national parks. We were tentatively planning trips to go different places once I have vacation time that kicks in, which kicks in another, 3.5, 4 months. So there'll be more stuff, opportunities to film stuff that aren't Jeep related, that aren't, don't fit on this particular Rambling channel's background. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy it. I am the Red Clay Traveler. I love you all deeply. And to the fella that wrote me on there on Facebook, asking me when I'm going to post the next video, I love you. I'm sorry. I did not mean to disappoint you. I'm not trying to do it. I do have a life outside of working on 40s Model Willies. I didn't used to. This was my life, and that was back when you had a lot more content steady coming from me. Oh, I have been driving the CJ5 a good bit more. I have not put the bumper on it yet because I'm a bum. But I have been driving it. Brittany really likes driving it. We drove it up to her great uncle's house the other day, spent some time with him, and showed him out the CJ5, and he digged it. So until next time, I am the Red Clay Traveler. I love you all deeply. Deep love. All right? And I hope you enjoy this rambling, incoherent babbling about history, occasional Jeep reference, and a little bit of update on my life and what's going on. I will see you in the next video. And until then, remember, no matter what, no matter how long it takes, dauntless for life. K10 for life. Dauntless for life. K10, dauntless. Dauntless in a K10? I don't know. Maybe in the future. Not this one. My own K10. All right? Get it? Hell yeah. Yeah, get it.